Okay, let's move ahead. We were there into dividend decision making, and in that we had started with Walter's model. We know how to take the decisions related to dividend payouts to maximize the value as per Mr. Walter. We have seen the formula, we have also seen the practicals of it. Today it's gonna be about Gordon's growth model, most widely used dividend model, most widely used share valuation model as well in industry. Now, what's the difference between Mr. Walter's model and Mr. Gordon's model? Mr. Gordon's model is also regarded as Gordon's growth model too. Anyway, let's go to a PPT. We'll be able to understand better from there. Well, friends, now, yes, people also regard it as a dividend discounting model. Now, if you can recall a formula of Walter's model, it was looking like value of share is basically the discounting of perpetuity of dividend by KE. Along with that, even the retained earnings were taken into account, but that was multiplied with one ratio. So D was added with the retained earnings, which was E minus D, and that retained earnings was multiplied by a ratio of R divided by K. And we have seen the reason why Mr. Walter multiplies this with the ratio of R divided by K, because he believes that dividend should be paid only if company is unable to satisfy the expectations of shareholders in terms of its own investments. Is company If company is earning better than the expectations of shareholders, then company should keep the money with themselves because they will be multiplying that money further. So that's all about Mr. Walter. Now, what if I tell you that along with the dividend, there is some growth rate expected constantly throughout the life of the shares? Obviously, as a rational shareholder, you will also expect your dividend to grow by some percentage throughout these years. You don't want to remain static at one particular absolute amount of dividend because so many factors are working against you. It's the earning power you are losing, it's the purchasing power you are losing. There is an inflation. So you don't want 5 rupees of dividend for the perpetuity. You want that dividend to grow at some specific growth rate. In that case, how to find the value of shares? So, as per Mr. Gordon, possibly there are three scenarios. One is you don't expect any growth. Then Mr. Gordon tells straight away that formula is nothing but the discounted value of all the dividends, D divided by K. That's the present value of perpetuity. We are aware about this formula. We had derived the formula in the last lecture only, right? Then, if you expect some growth rate, then while studying the cost of equity, you must have heard about one method to find the cost of equity, which was dividend growth model. According to that, the K was equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. Dividend expected of the next year divided by P0, the price of the share, plus G, if you can recall this formula. My friends, if I modify this formula a bit and try to find what should be a P0, then I will reach to a formula of constant growth rate, because in this we expect a growth rate, right? So how can you modify a formula? So here on right hand side we have a G. Let me do it in the Excel file. You'll be able to get it better way there. K equals to D1 divided by P0 plus G. So if you take this G on left hand side, it will become K minus G equals to D1 divided by P0. My friends, therefore, if I take this P0 over here and this K minus G over here on right hand side, then the formula will become P0 equals to D1 divided by K minus G. Now it will further be modified to a growth rate. P0 will be D1 we have written, right? That means it includes the growth rate of the current year. So D0, 1 plus G divided by K minus G. So growth rate of the current year is also taken into account. So we reach to D1 ultimately. So that's the P0. That's the formula of Gordon's growth model for a constant growth rate. We expect a specific growth rate throughout the years of the life, and that growth rate is not getting changed. That's the second part of Gordon's model. Then the third part of the Gordon's model is that you expect the variable growth rate based on the product life cycle, based on the life cycle of the company itself, based on the purpose of existence of a company. You may have a different growth rate expectations at different stages of company's life. For the first 5 years, you may have the expectations of 5%. Then for the next 5 years, you may have 7%, and then forever, you may have expectations of 4% of growth rate in dividend. When I say growth rate, I'm talking about growth rate of dividend. So possibly there are three scenarios: zero growth rate, constant growth rate, and variable growth rate. In case of variable growth rate, we'll have to do the manual calculations of PV and FV. We will see that later on whenever we'll encounter with that question. But for zero and constant growth rate, I have told you the formula. So K D minus D divided by K, a very simple formula for zero growth rate. And for a constant growth rate, it is D in bracket 1 plus G divided by K minus G. I hope that sounds clear to everyone. Now, if the growth is not given to you, my friends, we had also discussed the formula to find the growth rate, and that was discussed very conceptually. It was basically the retained earnings proportion multiplied by the rate of return which companies earns on their investment. Try to understand it very logically. From the EPS, company has got two alternatives: either to pay the dividend or to retain the money. Whatever the proportion of the EPS is retained is called as the retained earnings proportion, retained ratio. So from 10, if 6 rupees is paid as a dividend, then 4 rupees is retained earnings. So 40% will be your retention ratio. So 0.4 multiplied by ROI of a company, return on asset of a company, return on equity of a company. There are various formulas to find the different returns from a different perspectives. So whatever the return is given to you from a company's perspective, it may be IRR, internal rate of return. It may be return on investment straight away given to you. It may be ROE given to you. So various terminologies may be used. So say ROI is used. So retention ratio multiplied by ROI. And the logic behind is that, say if the company keeps some proportion with themselves, in terms of reserves and surpluses, then what do they earn from a business from that money? Let me get that much of a growth rate, as simple as that. Okay, let's go to questions so that we'll be able to get it in a better way. Good. So everyone, please take a snap of this. Mr. Don Limited, Mr. Mehu Don Limited wants to give 5 rupees of dividend to its shareholders. ये कहाँ का चिंच पोकली का डॉन होगा चप्पल चुराने वाला? 5 रुपए डिविडेंड कौन देते हैं? हाँ, लेकिन कम डिनोमिनेशन ही कम है तो फिर डिविडेंड कम भी हो सकता है ना. Mehu Don Limited wants to give 5 rupees of dividend to its shareholders and KE is 15 percentage. What will you invest in the stock if it is trading at 35 rupees? Well, whether we should invest or not, that decision will be based on what is the value of share, right? Now, in this case, no information is given to you related to growth rate. So we assume there is no growth rate expectations. So P0 equals to, can also be called as the value as per Gordon, equals to D divided by K. Sir, what is the dividend expected? 5 rupees divided by K, 15 percentage. It's basically the discounting of 5 rupees for a perpetual period, for undefined period. So what do we get? Can just someone tell me please the answer? $33.33 by Mr. Mitesh. Very good. So 33.33 is the value as per Mr. Gordon. Now, my friends, you tell me whether you should invest at 35 rupees, yes or no. Should we invest at 35 rupees? Please give your opinion through the chat box. Mr. Mitesh is saying no. Mr. Jaidev is saying dividend yield is great. So yes, we should invest. Okay, let's take it in a very plain manner. You are investing in a stock at 35 rupees, which deserves the valuation of just 33.33. Should we invest at 35 rupees? Yes or no? Give your suggestions through the chat box. Miss Hemali says no. Mr. Mitesh says no. All those who are saying no are correct. Dividend growth rate is not expected, but if you receive 5 rupees and 15 percentage of expected return, then the valuation comes nearby 33 rupees. You shouldn't be investing at 35. But yes, if I would be able to get it lesser than 33.33, then I should definitely invest in the stock. Let's go to question number 2. Mr. SRK will pay the dividend of 8 rupees to his shareholders of Red Chillies Entertainment Limited. The growth rate expected on dividend is 6% on a yearly basis, forever, a constant growth rate expectations. KE is 11% expectations of shareholders. Will you invest in the stock if it is trading at 150 rupees? Dear friends, here in this case, the growth rate is also expected. And I don't know why you should expect the growth rate from SRK's company now. The trend is diminishing in terms of his acting abilities, in terms of its movie selection, in terms of his box office performance everywhere. The trend is diminishing anyway, but it's his choice. सर जी, यहाँ पे हमारे पास ग्रोथ रेट है and that is also a constant. Then the formula of share will be D0 1 plus G. Now here in this case, the terminology used no is SRK will pay the dividend of 8 rupees. Now whether it includes the growth rate or not, we don't know. So we'll take 1 plus G rather than taking 8 rupees over there. Because I don't know that whether the growth rate is already including over there or not. So if nothing is specified to you, no, we assume that the growth rate is not included in that dividend amount. So KE minus G. So sir, D becomes 8 rupees. 1 plus G will be, growth rate is how much? 6%, 0.06 divided by KE. KE will be 0.11 minus 0.06. Now higher and higher growth rate expectations you will have, higher and higher value of the shares will be. Try to understand it mathematically. If you will have a very high growth rate expectations, then the denominator will be less. And if denominator will become less, then the entire value will go up. If you discount something at 11 percentage, then try to observe its value. And if you discount the same thing at 5 percentage, obviously the value will be high in terms of present value. So let me simplify this further. So you should put this in the back of your mind that higher the growth rate expectations, higher will be the value of shares. 8, 1.06. And that sounds good as well. No, I mean, if you expect a very good growth rate from a dividend, then you should be able to pay higher prices today in terms of its valuation. In denominator, you have 0.05. Can someone tell me what do we get in numerator, please? 8 multiplied by 1.06. Will anyone please? 8.48. Okay. 8.48 to be divided by 0.05. So we get a value of shares of Red Chillies Entertainment Limited, 8.48 divided by 0.05. Sir, that is 169.6 rupees per share. Now the same stock is traded at 150 rupees. Should we invest in that stock? Can someone tell me now? चलो लोगों के ओपिनियन देखते हैं. चलो करके बताओ. ये 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 करके बताओ. चलो बताओ. Miss Hemal is saying yes. Miss Titli saying yes. Mr. Mitesh is saying yes. How about others? They are very passive today. I don't know why. Sir, first lecture है ना तो सोते हुए हैं हम. तो सोते ही रहना तुम जिंदगी पर. Let's go to question number 3. You may conclude it in your note, or you may have one more line for a conclusion that we should invest in the stock at 150 rupees. Okay, let me decrease the size of this a bit. Question number 3 here. Let's start reading the question. Sheldon Cooper Limited has provided the following information to you. Profit before tax 2.5 crores. Tax rate 40%. Retention ratio 40%. Number of outstanding shares 50 lakhs. Equity capitalization rate 12%. Rate of return on investment 15%. What should be market price per share according to Gordon's model of dividend policy? Dear friends, the growth rate is not given to you. but some indirect information is given to you to find the growth rate. ये एकता कपूर की उस सासू माँ सीरियल की टाइप है जहां पे सासू माँ इनडायरेक्टली कुछ चीजें बताती है। मेरे बेटे को तो है ना ये अच्छा लगता है, तो बहू को समझ लेना कि उसको क्या चाहिए, कि आज क्या बनाना है। सो ऐसे इनडायरेक्टली बोला हुआ है कि growth rate you should find. Can someone tell me what information is given to you to find the growth rate? If someone can identify this, चलो ये करके बताओ, सुनाओ। Okay, there is one question raised by Mr. Jaydev. Jaydev, I'll take your question in some time. Before that, I'll solve this, then I'll take this question. Because that is very interesting question. Everyone should listen it. So after completion of this, I'll take that. कुछ दिया हुआ है ग्रोथ रेट फाइंड करने के लिए, थोड़ा सा रिमेंबर करो, थोड़ा सा बताओ क्या है ग्रोथ रेट का फॉर्मूला। सर व्हाट इफ इट इज नॉट गिवन टू यू, देन विल यूज द फॉर्मूला। सो ग्रोथ रेट इक्वल्स टू रिटेंशन रेट multiplied by ROI, return on investment of company. So retention rate is given to you 40%, can also be written like 0.04 multiplied by ROI is given to you 0.15. So 15 चौक 60 means 0.06 will be your growth rate, can also be written like 6%. I hope that's clear to everyone. Now what's required in the formula next? So let's write the formula. P0 equals to D0 1 plus G divided by K minus J. Sir, dividend amount is not given to you again. That can be found by the indirect information given to us. Working note number 1. Profit before tax is given to you. Let's write the profit before tax. PBT 2 crore 50 lakhs. From that, obviously, you pay the tax. So tax percentage is 40%. So less tax at 40% of PBT. So 25 chok 100, I guess it would be 1 crore. So 1 crore rupees of tax. You get PAT. PAT will be 1 crore 50 lakhs. Now, is there information given to us related to preference shares? No. And if no preference shares are there, that means the entire profit after tax is available to equity shareholders. So it can also be called as the earning to equity. That is to be divided by number of shares. How many? अरे how many? कितने आदमी थे, कितने शेयर्स थे? शेयर्स थे 50 lakhs. अरे ओ सांभा, कितने शेयर्स थे? 50. So you get EPS 150 divided by 53 rupees per share. Now per share लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है because it's already EPS, earning per share. It is just for your clarification I have written per share. Acha, from that the retention ratio is 40%. That means the dividend payout ratio will be 60%, right? हाँ सर मालूम पड़ गया, आप इतना क्यों एक्साइटेड हो रहे हो? So 40% is retention ratio. So dividend payout ratio will be 60%. DP ratio, डिस्प्ले पिक्चर वाला नहीं, डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो. सो 3 रुपए का अगर 60% टू डिविडेंड पे कर देते हो, ₹3 के EPS में से, तो 6 तेरी 18 मीन्स 1.8 rupees will be paid as dividend, right? Now तो we have got everything that is required in a formula, no? Now तो मजा आता है ना, now तो we have got everything. ऐसे मिक्स करने में मजा आता है. It's not a trend right now in Rajkot, but if you go to Mumbai or somewhere, the English is a pretty much used one. हिंदी और इंग्लिश को बहुत मिक्स करते हैं लोग उधर, और मजा आता है मेरे को भी उधर. 60% will be 1.8. Okay, so 1.8 in bracket 1 plus g will be 0.06 to be divided by k. K is how much, sir? Equity capitalization rate is basically the k, 12%. So 0.12 minus 0.06, so equals to 1.8 multiplied by 1.06 to be divided by 0.06. So equals to, can someone tell me the valuation of this share, please? All of you? All of you? $31.8. Okay. So, sir, the valuation is 31.8. If the same stock is available at 35 rupees, should we invest in that stock? No. But if the same stock is available at 30 rupees, should we invest in the stock? Yes. Now see, undervaluation and overvaluation cannot be decided purely on the base of what is the valuation you get by this, you know. Sometimes it may be an industry practice that all the shares in the same industry may be traded at 2 to 3 times of its valuations. So you need to compare it with the industry average. Say here the ratio of whatever the value you have done, no? Say the market price is 40 and the valuation comes at 20. So ratio is 2. That means market price is 2 times of your valuation. Now possibly it may be a generally accepted standard or benchmark in the industry. All the shares might be traded at 2 times of its valuation. Possibly, why not? So you should check that what's the trend related to its valuation. The history should also be checked, that after reaching to what sort of a valuation there was a correction in the market prices. So in the history you may have observed that, say, sir, after 3 times of its valuation, no, the prices are unable to survive, because that's what we have identified by the historical data. So accordingly you may decide, if right now the stock is trading at say 3.5 times of its valuation, then you can take the decision that, sir, now it's overvalued stock, as far as the practical and reality is concerned. But in pen and paper kind of an exercises, this is what the value which share deserves, and whatever the market value will be, it will be compared straight away with that, because we don't know that what is the basic industry accepted standard benchmark right now, you know. That's why I hope that's clear to everyone now. May I have a confirmation? यहाँ तक सबको सब कुछ समझा है? किसी को कोई भी तकलीफ नहीं हुई यहाँ तक समझने की? Okay. Received it from Mr. Jaydev. What about others? Mr. Mitesh, Miss Hemali, very nice. Okay. Now there is one doubt of Mr. Jaydev, that, sir, that if 35 rupees stock giving 5 rupees dividend, why one should not invest at it at giving 14% dividend yield? In practical market, it's not possible, I think so. And I think it's 5.15 years, one can double its money only by getting the dividend. If that dividend is fixed, correct me, I am wrong. Well, Mr. Jaydev, expected rate of return also plays a major role. If expected rate of return is 15%, 16%, 20%, you will pay the higher value for that as of now. So this is how this dividend, this dividend model is framed in such a way which also takes into account the expected rate of return and the growth rate. Now you're like, sir, in 5 or 6 years only I'm able to recover back my entire money of investment. But see, this model is silent about what will be the increment in the market price. That may be the only return for you. That is the dividend return. And I don't know that whether that return will be good in comparison to a market. Because for that also, model is silent. You are saying that in 5.5 years we'll be able to recover back that money. Understood, pretty much understood. But what if the payback period in the similar industry would be 4 times? You cannot have any absolute parameters to decide what is bad or good. The judgment must be keeping in mind the relative comparison. So as per the question, you can make out like, sir, in 5.5 years my amount is being doubled. But what if it is lesser than the relative return you get in a market? That we don't know, no? So comparison or any sort of a return is good or bad can be done only if you have the comparative figures with other people, or you have the market return, or you have some other sort of a things. If entire market is giving you 25% CAGR and you say that, sir, in 15% I'll be able to double up my money just in 5 years. But entire market is able to double up the money in just 4 years. You are lagging behind them. Practically, realistically, what we have seen is 14-15% of CAGR is a very good return. I pretty much agree with that. It's more than a moderate return, definitely. But we don't know what exactly the market is. Some emerging markets will give you a very high percentage of CAGR. And if you go to some really highly developed markets like United States and Europe, the CAGR return of markets will not be very high in that case as compared to the emerging countries' markets. So that's how it is. Until and unless we don't know that how others are valued, how can we say that whether we are valued better or wrong? It's all about relative comparison. I hope you are able to get my point. Okay, let's move to the next question. It's 9:39, but anyway, we'll be able to solve a part of it. Let's just first read the question. फिर देखते हैं कि क्या करना है. Mr. Republican, who was the finance manager of US Limited, in other words, Mr. Donald Trump, United States, had given a proposal to give 7% growth rate on dividend to be distributed among shareholders of US Limited. The last dividend was 12 rupees. Okay. However, the shareholders did not fall into rhetoric of Mr. Republican and they voted out him from the power. This question seems to be very biased. Did not fall into rhetoric. How did you come to know it was rhetoric or not? Anyway, this question seems to be biased. They appointed Mr. Democrat as the new finance manager of US Limited. Mr. Democrat has given a new proposal to give shareholders the growth rate of 10% for initial 5 years, 7% for next 5 years, and 4% thereafter forever. The overall expectations of shareholder of US Limited is 14% from the investment of shares, which is basically the KE. You are required to find that which proposal would have fetched more market price as per dividend growth model. Write your observations. So here we have got two proposals made by two different candidates. Mr. Republican is saying that company should give 7% growth rate forever now without making anything very complicated. That's how the nature of Mr. Republican was. He was a louder mouth, but he was pretty honest when it comes to telling the right and wrong. That may again be my personal bias, not commenting on that. Chalo, let's move ahead with the second proposal. Now, in that one, there is three growth rates. There are three growth rates distributed in the phases. So for the initial 5 years, the growth rate expectations will be 10%. Then it will further lower down to 7% for 5 to 10 years. That means for the next 5 years. And then forever, for the perpetuity, the growth rate will be 4%. Now that sounds pretty realistic, right? Because majority of the businesses you see will have a different growth rate expectations at the different stage of their life cycle. Because you can't expect a simple constant growth rate from a company forever, because every company will have up and down cycles. Every company will have the product life cycle. In some of the years it will expand at very high good rates, but in some of the years it won't be able to expand at that rate, right? And after achieving some saturation, and after increasing the magnitude of scale to such a great extent, the growth rate always lowers down a bit. At that scale, no one can operate at very high growth rate. So if the big companies are there and if you expect 10 to 15% from big companies, then it may be a very good expectations from those companies. And if company can delivers at 15, 20, 10 to 15%, then it's a very good performance, because at that scale, it's very difficult to grow at this rate. Okay. So now how to value the share if we have different growth rates? We'll have to do some manual calculations in this case. Anyway, we'll see that later on in the next session. But one proposal you can do, no, that is basically the constant growth rate proposal made by Mr. Republican by applying a constant growth rate formula. Everyone should be doing that in their homework, and let's try to see that what you can do for second alternative. We'll be doing it in the next session. Okay, so यहाँ तक किसी को कुछ भी queries, कुछ भी ऐसी चीज है जो नहीं समझ में आई तो बता दीजिए. Good. So that's it from my side. That's all about the dividend growth model. Few more complexities are pending to be done. Will be discussed in the next session. That's it. Please put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance. Bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy your day. I guess I might have a lecture at 1:30 for marketing management. Pritham told me to take it. So that was related to some dashboard building. Now it's more sort of the marketing, more sort of Excel stuff. Let me first make a disclaimer that I'm not good in marketing, but still, as far as the data is concerned and Excel is concerned, we may work out on that. Anyway, that's it from my side. Please, you may disperse from the session.